Okay, so we are going to be looking at Lesson 6 of Unit 1, Modeling Geometry with Polynomial Expressions. We did examples 1 through 3 in class. So we're going to be on page 26 in your workbooks, and we're going to do examples 4 through 6. So, for example 4, it says that the perimeter of a square is 12x plus 16. Okay, so that means that all 4 of my sides added together will give me 12x plus 16. So I need to know the area. And with the area of a square, the area is equal to side squared. So if I have a square, I need to know what each side is going to be. Okay, and like I said, perimeter is all 4 of those sides added together. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, this perimeter, I need to divide that all by 4 to figure out what each side is going to be. So I'm going to divide this whole thing by 4. And whenever I do that, what happens is I take the 12 divided by the 4, and that gives me 3. And then I leave the x with it. And then I have 16 divided by 4, which is going to give me 4. So that means that each side of my square is now 3x plus 4. Okay. So it asks for us to find the area of this square. So if I want to find the area, I'm going to use my area equals side squared. So that means area is going to be equal to one of my sides, which is 3x plus 4, squared. And we know from previous lessons that that squared up there means that I'm going to be taking 3x plus 4 and multiplying it by itself 2 times. Okay, and whenever I do this, now I can go ahead and multiply everything in the set, my first set of parentheses, by everything in the second set. So I'm going to take this 3x and I'm going to multiply it by everything in the second set. So 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared. 3x times 4 gives me 12x. And then I need to go ahead and I need to take this 4 and multiply it by everything in the second set of parentheses. So 4 times 3x is another 12x. And 4 times 4 gives me 16. So I'm almost done. The last thing that I need to make sure I do is combine my like terms, and my only like terms are the 12x's. So everything gets brought down. The 12x and the 12x becomes a total of 24x. And so I end up with 9x squared plus 24x plus 16 is the area of my square. Okay. Then I'm going to look at example 5. And example 5 says to write a simplified expression for the volume of a rectangular prism. It says the length is 2x, the width is 4x plus 1, and the height is 2x plus 1. Now, whenever I'm finding the volume of a prism like this, we use volume equals length times width times height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that out. And what I do with that is I say, well, the length is 2x. Tells me that in the directions. The width is 4x plus 1. Tells me that in the directions. And then the height, it also tells me, is 2x plus 1. So the first thing I'm going to focus on are these first 2 sets of parentheses. I'm going to take this 2x in the first one, and I'm going to multiply it by everything in the second set. So I take 2x times 4x, and I get 8x squared. 2x times 1 gives me 2x. Okay, so I have my first two sets of parentheses multiplied together. And then what I'm going to have to do is now I have to take what I just multiplied together and multiply that by the third set of parentheses. So I'm going to take everything here. I'm going to take the 8x squared first, and I'm going to multiply it by everything in the second set. So 8x squared times 2x, that's going to give me 16x to the third. Then I have 8x squared times 1, which is going to give me 8x squared. Then I have to take that 2x and multiply it by everything as well. So I'm going to say 2x times 2x and times 1 as well. So 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. And 2x times 1 gives me 2x. Okay, at this point, I can combine all my like terms. So I end up with the volume being equal to 16x to the third. I have an 8x squared and a 4x squared, so that's going to combine to give me 12x squared. And then I also have that plus 2x there at the end. Okay. So that is going to be my volume simplified. Okay. The last example that we're going to go over is example 6, and we are talking about finding the area of a triangle. And we've actually done some examples like this previously in the unit. So with this one, it tells us that the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So we're going to say area is equal to 1/2 because that 1/2 is always there. And then the base, we have the base of our triangle down here. That's the bottom of our triangle. So our base is 4x minus 2. And then the height is what we call perpendicular. That is whenever you have that 90-degree little box here is telling me that it's perpendicular. So the height is going to be 4x. Okay. Now that half throws a lot of people off, so I'm going to forget about that half for right now, and I'm just going to focus on the last two sets of parentheses I have here. Okay, I'm going to take this 4x, and I'm going to multiply it by everything in that first set. You could also do it the other way like we normally do it. You're still going to be doing the same exact thing. Okay, so we end up with 1/2. And then 4x times 4x gives me 16x squared. And then 4x times -2 is -8x. Now we actually have to mess with that half. So basically what it's telling us to do is take half of all those numbers. So take half of 16 and half of -8. So we're going to end up with 8x squared by taking half of 16. And then we're going to end up with -4x by taking half of -8. So that is going to be the area of my triangle, 8x squared minus 4x. Okay, that's all for the notes that we're going to go over for the notes video. We are going to do page 27 tomorrow in class.